On the preceding slide, we showed that a chemical reaction could be carried out at constant temperature if the reactive mixture was immersed in a very large water bath kept at constant temperature. Whether or not the heat of the chemical reaction can be dispersed in the surroundings actually depends on the nature of the boundary between the system and the surroundings. Similarly, whether work can be done by the system on the surroundings or vice versa depends on the boundary between system and surroundings. For example, whether the system can expand or not will dictate whether expansion, compression, mechanical work can be done. More will be said about that later in this lecture. At this stage, we define three different types of systems on the basis of whether or not they can exchange mass and/or energy with the surroundings. And by energy, I mean thermal energy, or heat, and mechanical energy, or work. We say that a system is isolated if it cannot exchange energy or matter with the surroundings. A good example of an isolated system, at least for short time periods, is a metal case vacuum flask, what we generally call a thermos bottle. The vacuum chamber between the inner and outer wall of the thermos prevents exchanges of heat with the surroundings. The metal casing ensures that compression or expansion work is unlikely since the volume of the thermos cannot increase or decrease. Finally, the lid on the thermos ensures that no amount of material may get in or out of the thermos. We should not confuse isolated systems with closed systems. A closed system can exchange energy with the surroundings through transfer of heat or work, but cannot exchange matter. A plastic milk jug is a good example of a closed system. It can be cooled or heated because the plastic casing is not a good thermal insulator. One can squeeze the jug, thereby decreasing its volume. Mechanical work will be associated with this process. However, because the jug has a lid, it cannot exchange matter with the surroundings. Finally, we have open systems, which can exchange both energy and matter with the surroundings. An example of such a system is a biological cell, an organ, the earth, and so on. For thermodynamic calculations, open systems are obviously the most difficult to deal with, while isolated systems are the most boring, since their energy remains constant, they do not exchange heat or work with the surroundings, and their mass remains constant. For the most part, we will be dealing with closed systems, as they are the easiest systems with which you can practice your growing knowledge of thermodynamics.